Hi everyone, this is Mary, and you are watching another little piece of my art. And today I thought we would discuss collages. I have been doing collages since as far back as I can remember. My grandmother used to give us the Sears catalog, and me and my brother used to like cut the people out and put animal heads on their bodies and make like dolls and things. And I always wanted to sorry, that's Nico as usual. I always wanted to keep a lot of my creations, and so I would glue them down on pieces of construction paper. So this has been a lifelong thing for me. And while it never really goes away, it does morph and change over the years, how you do it, how you like to do it. And the reason that I, decided to make this video, let me sit you on a magazine and see if you're not more steady, because we're on my bed. The only reason we're not at my desk is because there's a lot of stuff in this video and it would not fit on my small desk. I need to buy another desk. I really do. And put it in a different room because this room is too small. So now we're balancing. But the reason why this video is come to pass at this particular time is because I, every now and then, I get the itch to minimalize and organize as much as I can. And that's usually in the winter or when I'm not feeling well and can't do other things. So, because I just get overwhelmed with too much stuff visually, like, that I can see. But then I also have the problem of if it's out of sight, it's out of mind, and then I don't even know I have it anymore. Oh my gosh. If you only knew the amount of things I have bought more than once because of this very thing. So, with collaging, I have come to a process that I know others have probably shared before. I did by no means invent this. I mean, I think it's just kind of one of those Captain Obvious things, I think, for a lot of people, if you do this long term and a lot. But I think we all put our own little spin on it. And I think it's always interesting, well, it is for me anyway, to watch people's process and then, like what they do with their things. So that's what I thought this video would be about, and it's probably going to be a long video, guys. So if you want to pause me and go get your drink and whatnot, I will wait. Okay, so now when we're talking about collage, you don't have to go and buy these beautiful collage magazines that they have out now, and I have seen them and they are gorgeous. If you go on TikTok, they sell them in the TikTok shop, and it's basically a book like, any other magazine type soft cover book, where every page has multiple squares of these beautiful, things that that you could just cut out and put together. And I think that's great and everything. But for me, that takes the fun out of it. So I get my things in a variety of places. National Geographic magazines, I get them at the library. You can always count on National Geographics for having some nice big font words. And of course, beautiful photographs. I mean, they're known for their photographs. So whenever I go, I always go through the stack, and I buy the ones that appeal to me. I think they're like 10 or 20 cents. I can't remember. She charges me something different every time. But there's just a lot of beautiful things that could be other things, and that's the cool part of collage. There's some people that really do some beautiful surreal collage, where say they would take a picture like this, and what is this? Some kind of what are we doing here? I don't know. It looks like a pool right now. I can't read the words through the phone, but like they would cut this part out So they would cut this part out of the middle here and put something totally else in that hole coming out from the bottom, so that the picture would be completely changed. And I'm always fascinated with that. But they just always have great, photos of just everyday people, which I really like. I also have, I don't have it sitting here, but I also get back issues of like Bazaar and Vogue from my local library, and those two are 10 cents or 20 cents. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I just know that I get them there and I use them because the arty poses of the people are fun to mess with, to cut out and reconfigure. Here's another one I found there. This one was called Arts and Antiques Magazine, and I like this because it has these small pictures. I have my water, but I'm going to try so hard not to cough. But it has these small pictures that, if you want to read it and learn from it, that's great. But you can also totally use these and cut these out and do different things in your, look at that. Do different things in your collages. I mean, I would keep this as a resource book, but I have quite a few beautiful hardback resource art books on some of, my favorite artists. So this one I probably will use for collage fodder. But now here's another thing. I don't start cutting into stuff until I go through what I already have cut and see if I find the piece that I want. So let me explain. We'll keep going. Okay, so here's another great free resource. Whenever you go somewhere to any town, you might even have it in your town. They usually have these. They have these at every rest stop or truck stop, truck rest stop places. And these are great. These are amazing because you can get, they're advertising the best of what that place has to offer. So for this particular one that I got in Delaware, there is a ton of ocean pictures. And you would think I would have enough because I have my own here in Florida. But still I pick up more. And there's usually a lot of food stuff in these, and you could do different things with those kinds of pictures as well. But I picked this up because I was in Delaware in March. I was there over St. Patrick's Day, and I was curious about events that they had going on. Not that I was going to do any events then, but if I ever wanted to come back, look how beautiful that photograph is, right? So I did pick this up, and now I have it to use. So now, let's say you decide you want to get into collage, and you just went to your library or your wherever, or someone just gave you 3 books like this. Some people will tell you, do not tear your books up, stack them all, store them all until you want to make your collage, and then go through them and find the pictures that you want and need. And hey, if you want to do it that way, far be it from me to stop you, because there are collage artists that I follow that do it that way. But see, they have a lot of room, and I don't have that luxury. So what happens is we start here from stage 1 until I get a pretty good stack going. I mean, I just started tearing back into these, and I've got about 8 magazines laying around, and that's 8 magazines too many for me at this point in time. If I wasn't a colorist that kept a lot of coloring books around, if I wasn't also, into sketchbooks and things like that, it'd be a different story. If collage was my only hobby, then sure. But when you start getting into multi-hobbies, then, sometimes you just have to pick and choose and get yourself a good system. So when I get, you know, a good stack of books, like I said, what we do is we go to this folder, and I just rip out pages that can you guys see? I rip out pages that I find interesting for whatever reason. Now, it could be the words. It could be the idea, like, hey, I could take a picture of someone I know or myself and cut it up and use it in this way. It could be for a lot of reasons. This particular folder right now has some art prints or some magazines from artist books in it. This one, like, I don't know if it's from the bottle, because I don't have any pictures of bottles. I really don't know why that one was saved. I remember keeping the gun because it reminded me of my grandpa, so I don't know what I'll do with that, but there it is. Again, words. Sometimes I cram stickers in the folder when I don't know what else to do with them. But, you know, cute dogs. Just whatever draws your eye. If it draws your eye, you're drawn to it for a reason. Don't worry about how you're going to use it later, okay? Just go ahead and grab it while you have the chance. And if you get a page, this happens to me quite a bit. If you pull a page, and if you look at a page in the magazine and you like the image on the front and the back, just, you know, pull out the whole page. I just tend to cut things down because then that's less weight of paper, you know, over the long run. I liked this picture of someone's notebook. I liked these words. Don't know, you know, what I'll do with them or how I'll use them. Like this color. I don't eat meat, but I thought this could be something else. I don't know what, but so that's the process that I use. All right, I just go to town. It's very, very calming and therapeutic to just go through magazines and tear out pages. And now if I want to cut them down, you know, to fit better, a little tip that I have is I put the extras in here. This is full of the extras of things that I've cut because of the borders and the colors and filling in, and also because I have a project that I'm wanting to do that kind of involves paper mache, and I don't have any newspaper, so I'm thinking if I soak some of these skinny magazine ends in water, it should work out. Okay, so now you got your, you know, your this. There comes a stage when now this becomes too, or this is how it works for me. This has become too full, and it's, you know, stuff is falling out. And I was in the process of actually going through it, which inspired me to make this video. And that's why we're doing this. But I was in the process of going through this and filing the things away. And how I do that is I have one of these. And this is a, I don't know, 3-inch maybe binder, 2-inch, 3, I don't know, big old binder. My husband used to get these at work. So, you know, just wherever they sell binders, that's where you get them. And you get the, you get these thingies, page protectors. You can get those in the pack at Walmart, and they're in the aisle with all the office supplies. So what I do here is, so I have some smaller pieces here because these have pockets. But I also have, I know I have more of these somewhere, but right now this is the only one I have in here. But these were I think like when my son had trading cards, maybe Pokemon or something, he had these little thingies, these little they're like pockets. So sometimes if the thing is small, I will put it in there so it doesn't get lost in the shuffle of the big sleeves. And also, it's great because I do work in smaller sketchbooks, and I do work in like really small sketchbooks, and I do work in, you know, Midori's and traveler's notebooks and things like that. So, well, Midori is a traveler's notebook, but you know, the different sizes. And so it's nice to be able to find them fast. And so what I'll do is go through this on this side here. I will go through these and then file away, you know, any of those that will fit into here. And then what we do is we I label mine. You could use tabs if you want, but I just write it with a Sharpie on the side. And this one is people, so this is where my you know, models go and stuff like that from the fashion magazines. But it's also where I like everyday people. Like I might like I liked the side profile of her. I liked just the look in her eye, that she had like a determination, something about her. So it could be a man, it could be a woman, it could be, you know, any size person of any race. I don't care. If I like it, it's going in there. Like for example, look at this man. I came across him earlier and I was like, well, that's a strange picture to save because he's got like words going through his eyeglasses, but I don't know. Maybe I will color those in or change something or add like someone else's hair to him or something. Like make those paper dolls that my brother and I used to make. Like the whole thing spawns from that kind of sort of, you know. So I do have people, and here's some Elvis stuff in there. This one is a real thin one, but I had taken apart a jewelry magazine that my friend, she gets them and then she doesn't use them anymore because they get old. Like this one says 2015. These make interesting things in collages. I've used them before. So I didn't label this one because it's just, you know, a few pieces of jewelry. I didn't label this one either because this is mostly Florida stuff, and I already know that by looking at it. So a lot of times I'll put articles about Florida that I want to keep, or I'll put maps, and there's a map in there, just things like that. I don't know that I'll use them, but I just want to keep them. Here's where I file my words, and sometimes I don't even want the words that are together in this, you know, whatever it is that it's saying. Like this one is saying talk of the South. Maybe I just want the word South. You know, so I mix and match. I like the fonts. I like the big fonts, the letters. So that's where those go. I have some extra ones I haven't filled yet. This one, what is this one? This one is not labeled, so I'm not really sure what this one is right now. Let me see. Unless it's oh, this one is like these are almost like a postcard material. They're like a printy thing, and this magazine had free papers that you could use, so you could build your collage right on the backs of this, but you could build them on anything. but I got them out of a magazine, and I decided to keep those images in case I wanted to actually use those. This is it. No? Okay. So now we have orange. So orange and yellow. So if there's anything orange or yellow, I put it in here. And that way, when I'm making the collage, and I'll show you in a minute what I mean by needing a color. If there's anything of these colors, I can't tell if it's better this way or this way. What do you guys think? Okay, so that way, if there's anything I need, and I know I want something orange or yellow, I can come right in here and just go to that page. And then we have reds, pinks, and purples. So there's quite a bit in here. I didn't realize I had that much, but I had taken apart some Somerset Studio art magazines some time ago. And then we have blues. So I have all kinds of beautiful blue papers and cutouts and things like that. I know that's a face, but it's not the same type of face as in the beginning, the magazine face. That's a different thing for me. And then we have greens. So this is where I would be putting, well, there's a map there. This is where I would be putting like pictures of plants, or even magazine articles like that have pictures of plants in them, like actual plants, not, you know, already drawn, painted ones. This is one of my favorite folders. This one is the brown, beige, and sepia. A lot of my things I like to use are in here because I like that, you know, that grungy, older look. So, you know, here's like, see, this really would be something that should be in the front in those little pockets, because that gets lost in there. But here's a photo of some ladies. I don't know if they were swimmers or really what they were doing, but I don't know. It reminds me of pictures that my grandma used to have, so I will put that in the front. But that's what I have, those kind of things there. And then this was, I'll just keep this separate by itself. This was Flights of Fancy Flourish watercolor. It was like a lady that was doing a flower or a bird, trying to do it, like see if she could do one every day for a month. And I just wanted to, and she published it in a magazine, and I just wanted to keep it to use it as inspiration, because I thought that was, you know, kind of a hard thing to think of, is a different one for every month to make it look different. So I kept that. And sometimes I keep just little things like that, but not forever. Like, I will go through this again at some point, and if it's not used, I'm not going to keep it. And then this is white and black and white. So, like, yeah, things that are, you know, they can have more than one color, but mainly white. And then this is where I keep, like, my pictures of the solar system and things like that, so I know where they are when I want them. Here's some paper dolls that I have, like some paper dolls that I don't know if I want to use, like really cut, so I might like copy them first. And then the back here, I have so this was classwork and my actual papers from one of my favorite classes that I ever had in college, which was the art of film writing class. It's an English class that we had about film, so film studies. I took more than one, but my particular favorite one was the one that we had about scary movies and the history of them, and all sorts of good pictures are in here. And I this is like, I held on to this and my creative writing stuff really, and I have parted with so much college stuff because you just can't keep that forever, you know. But papers that I had to write, and then things from like my very favorite class. I just keep condensing smaller and smaller and smaller. So yeah, I just have this back here because I just can't seem to part with it. And then in the very back here, I have some sheet music. And if you're going to do collage, I would suggest to anyone to, go to the thrift store and buy yourself some sheet music. And it's usually very plentiful. And it just looks like this. And it makes for great backgrounds for things. And some of these songs, I probably do not know. And maybe some of them I do know. And usually the paper is pretty cool. This one's from 97, so it's more or less, the paper that we're used to now. But I did used to have some really nice sheet music paper that, was the feel of kind of the crumbly paper and very delicate. So I used all of that up, though. So now you have seen basically where I get my materials, and you have seen what I store them in and how I try to, because see, I still have to go through this pocket here and file that all the way, and I still have to go through this and file this all the way. So once I do that, my book is getting my binder is getting full. Still got quite a bit of room, but I find that the more that you have, the less that you can find. And so starting out with a smaller amount is not a bad thing. But so now that I have all that, I probably won't buy anything from the library in terms of collage materials for a while, at least until I use up some of the. It's hard for me though, because when I see something, like I'll flip through it and it'll just be like one picture, and I don't think the library would like me ripping one picture out of the magazine and leaving the rest in there. So I thought we'd just talk a little bit about collaging in general. I told you about how I made paper dolls when I was a little kid, but I've always enjoyed and liked collaging. So, a long time ago, this was probably in the 90s at some point. Whenever this movie came out, City of Angels, I was obsessed with that movie. This was my collage. This is a photograph of a church that I went to, and so I had I don't know, a theme, I guess, but it lacks, it lacks something. But we all start somewhere, so don't be down on yourself if you don't really know what to do. But just from this small sampling here, off center is nice, off the page is nice. You kind of don't always want everything to line straight up. You notice how there's brown in the bricks, so I added these stamped keys to kind of bring the brown over to here. There's greens. It is what it is, so that's what we got going on there. But I keep this book because I can do stuff to it. You can paint backgrounds, and then you can go through your wonderful collage materials that we just looked at, and you can slap them on a page like this with the background already painted. So, I don't believe in wasting a bunch of paper because you just got tired of the book or whatever. If you like to collage, you can fill this baby, and I'm going to, because my daughter gave me that, and I want to use it. I want to use every bit of it. So that's where I kind of started, as in terms of collaging as an adult, really. I mean, I had a few years off for having babies and stuff. And then I kind of moved to this sort of a, I haven't pasted bet down, but I moved into this sort of a style where so in this particular book, this is Coptic bound, so it lays flat, which is very helpful. I did my background with paint or whatever I used. I'm assuming paint, and then I decided to go in rainbow order. So red was the first color, so I do all the borders with red things. And that's why I was saying to keep a hold of things like this if you want to do something like that, because when you need something to go around a border, you need it, and you got to be able to find it, right? I used something from my coloring book. I used something from our dinner. This was my dog at the time. My grandson was wearing red. This bar that we were at a party, and this place had a red along the bar. So, but you see now how to compare to the last collage I showed you. Now we're getting visually interesting, because she's like riding a pillow here, with a large blob of, I don't know what kind of something in her hand, and she's wearing a glass upside down as a hat. And I have used paint pens to. That's another piece of a coloring book that I cut up. We're just getting a little bit better at it now. And these I still add to, believe it or not. So this would be my orange page, and now we are heads sunning in our chairs, and here's a fish and my other doggy and some words, and daughter just liked the blending of the orange. These pieces are from coloring books. That's a picture of, I'm assuming Daytona Beach, but it's not from when I lived here, because I made this picture before. But and I've tucked my grandson in there wearing his orange little arm floaties, and yellow, we haven't got all the way there yet, but what I'm trying to illustrate is you start somewhere, and you would be surprised where you could get to if you really want to. So now we're doing blue, and I don't have very much at all. I did do a black and white page with these people from a vintage movie book that I have. And so, yeah. I even did I did a brown page, and that's my son and me dancing at his wedding. And we always used to play a game, Let's Go Drive Until We Get Lost, and it was our mother and son time. And we would get in my car, and once we pulled out of our little area where we lived at, I would say, which way, and he would point either to the left or the right, and I would go turn, and then he would tell me when he wanted me to turn again and which way, and we would just try to get lost in our own, and we did a couple times. Doggies. And so yeah, you see, the chair, the head becomes the chair, and so more thinking about composition. more layering, more doing that. But yeah, I still have tons of room in here, and we'll definitely, who's that? I will definitely, I have no idea who that is, but I might have wanted to use him in something. I wanted to make a silly page, so I made one this way, where my paper dolls, you know, Buffy was holding Kelly Osbourne's head. And, oh my gosh. Sorry, you guys. That's my daughter's, older daughter's age music, and I can't remember her name. Avril Lavigne. And she's wearing this ridiculous, this is a wedding cake upside down, so think about which way things can go. I used to have sprays by putting, if you want to make homemade sprays, just put some liquid or some, you know, tube watercolors in some little spray bottles and add water, and then you won't have to do a lot of painting to your backgrounds because you can just spray them. But that's what I have going there. I do enjoy trying to add some collages to my coloring books. So I pre-color them. I try to keep the color schemes very simple because when you're going to do this in your book, and then you know that you're going to have a lot of stuff coming in there, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want too much going on. But here's one that I did, and I colored the mandala, and then I also colored the background, and then I also drew some flowers on there, and I also colored this paper doll lady, or this lady, out of like a vintage clothing coloring book, and I also added wings that I got somewhere else from something else, and so forth and so on. And you could really just take this as far as you want to go. I did this one in January of 21, so I've been at these for a minute. I don't do them every day because I wasn't really being as organized as I am now before, and I didn't want to have to look in 40 different places for little pieces of things. But now that I've been trying to adhere the best I can to my system of filing everything away, it should go a lot better. I have this one, so this is the mandala that was in the coloring book, and then I, you know, added all of the stuff to the background, which to me looks like some watercolor crayons maybe, or just ink pad stuff. Something from a magazine. So this one was in June of 21. I used stickles, and I used a gem I got from the Dollar Tree, and this sort of hand cutout thing that I got from I don't know where. But yeah, that one had probably a good amount of views on my Instagram in terms of, for me, because no one ever looks at my Instagram. So like if I get 20 likes, I'm above thrilled. And then this one, I believe, was the first one that I ever did, and that was right after our house in town, and we had a tornado in Ohio, in Dayton, and that was bad. So yeah. Yeah, I did this one. So this, nothing past the like edge of these moon things is there. I drew that all on. You can see from the other side what I had drawn on there. But I drew those on there, and I added, you know, just little stickers and gems and other things from other coloring books. This looks like my Momo. And this lady reminds me, of course, of the witch coming after the little doggy, and the houses are flying. So, you know, you can put a theme to them if you want to. And yeah, I really should get back into doing these because I did enjoy it a lot. Because it combines, you know, it combines my passions, coloring and collaging. And then finally, I have my bigger, oh, let's see, my bigger book here. I started this. Composition books are one of my favorite things to work in. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because years ago that's all I could afford, and then I got used to the paper and I understand how it works. And something about the lined paper makes me feel like, well, it's just lined paper anyway, so, you know, I can't really do anything that's going to be hideous because, you know, how good could it be on lined paper? I don't know, weird logic. But I usually get them, and you you find the middle and tie a string around there and tie it tight up here at the top, because you're going to be putting a lot of wear and tear on that spine if you want a book this big. And let me just tell you that I have made, probably since I first became on YouTube on a journaling channel, which was in 2009, I have probably created 15 journals like this. And it got to a point where I was like, I cannot keep all of these. My kids told me they don't want all this stuff, you know, when I'm gone. And it's just too much, you know, room that other stuff could go into. So I went through them, and you know, I pulled out some of my favorite pages, things that I liked, and I crammed them all in here. So there's like loose, you know, there's loose things or whatever. But I'm glad with that. But this is what I have, and you could make one like this. And I don't know what's in here, guys, so don't judge me. I mean, if you see, I don't know, there could be, who knows. Bad words, who knows. Oh, a marathon. It must have been one of my kids. Some things that I pulled out of old journals, like terrible paintings, but I remember us not being able to have like paper, and we would paint on the back of like boxes of Coca-Cola and stuff like that. And so this is the kind of book that I always keep, and like I said, I've narrowed it down to one, but these are precious to me. These house my thoughts, some photographs. These house art that my kids have made me, things that they have, you know, given me, cards, just. And like I can look at it and know what I meant at the time. You know, here's one, a picture of my grandson and I, and with, I don't know where this feather came from, but there's more feathers, and we have like this purpley red. So look at all this room I have over here. To add more things, I can write. I can add more things. And another tip, guys, is to, if you want your composition junk journals to hold up, glue 2 pages together. That's what I do. These solar lights are like, they're so bleached out from the sun now that they're almost white. But this serves as a tab for me to turn a page. And, you know, I don't know. I mean, this is like, all this is my life. Like, all this has meaning. My daughter bought me this puzzle, and I have it on my wall right now. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I go back and doodle. So this is a big book. This is a chunky book. You wanna test your markers. You wanna run markers out. do it. Do it in your composition books, and you can always go back and you could always add stuff. You can always, you know, add layers and do things to them. And yeah, so I don't want to like Frankenstein, manatees. Like I don't want to go too deep into it because I don't know like who all's pictures I've got in here or whatever, but like something that I made and glued into another journal. I pulled that out because I wanted to keep it. I made this strange angel and I wanted to keep her. A for angel. Some tags. Erica, she grew up too soon. Yep, she just had a baby. Talking about Italy when I lived there. Just I love these pages where we keep or I keep my certain things that gifts that I've been given because of this the memory of it. Like this is a true junk journal in that manner, but maps and yep, things like that. So I don't want to go too far, like I said, guys. So I just want to show it to you and show you that it's another thing you can do with all the pieces that you cut up. And if you get yourself a 50-cent composition book and you try out your collaging in there, then you will not be upset if it doesn't turn out great, because we all start somewhere. And yeah, and like I said, I was going through stuff tonight, so I have plenty of more little pieces that I need to file in there. But it gives you some busy work to do when you are sitting around in front of the TV. And it's just a great project. It's you can add photos, drawings, you can add so much to it and make it your own. And so if you don't collage, maybe this is your little birdie in your ear telling you to give it a try. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I will talk to you later. Bye.